Welcome. Trauma is my jam, and by that I mean I help you understand what your body is doing. Let's make sense of it together.
Hello, friends, and welcome to those of you that are coming back. Thank you, and if you're new here, welcome. I truly hope that you find this space to be supportive and educational. Today, we're going to be talking about the connection between trauma and people pleasing. Have you ever been called too nice, too accommodating, too available, too sensitive to other people's moods? Do you apologize even when you did nothing wrong? Do you feel responsible for keeping the peace? Do you feel anxious when someone is upset, even if it has nothing to do with you? That's not weakness. What it is you operating from something called the Fawn response. And today, we're going to unpack it. And now listen, it is great to be nice. I'm a nice person, for the most part. I have people pleased my entire life until I hit my 40s. And then I was like, this is killing me. This is killing me. Because the truth is, when you are too nice, it is at a cost to yourself. Let's talk about the Fawn response. So here's the thing. Most of us know about fight, flight, and freeze. We've heard that often. And we have a general understanding of that, what that means, right? Sometimes when we're triggered, we go into fight mode. So we're like, we're going to fight, we're going to become aggressive. Or we go into flight where we're fleeing, we're trying to get away from. Or we go into freeze where we kind of just shut down and get small. But there's another phase to trauma response, and that is called the Fawn response. And we don't really talk about it all that much. So the term was popularized by Pete Walker, who described fawning as a trauma response where a person moves towards appeasing their perceived threat in order to stay safe. It isn't about fighting, it isn't about running, and it's not about shutting down. What you do is you attach, you accommodate, and you merge. Because somewhere along the way, your nervous system learned connection equals survival, and displeasing someone equals danger. So let's talk about how fawning looks. So chronically over-apologizing. It's raining today? I'm sorry. It's got to be my fault. Over-explaining yourself. Difficulty saying no. So yeah, I used to say yes to everything. Things that I didn't want to do, things that physically, emotionally, or mentally were going to cost me, I still said yes. Taking responsibilities for other people's emotions. You and your spouse got into an argument last night, and now you're in a bad mood. It's got to be my fault. It's got to be my fault. Avoiding conflict at all cost. Yep, absolutely. Conflict showed up, I was out of there. Don't engage. Stay quiet. I don't share my opinion with you because of fear that it might bring conflict. Feeling guilty when setting boundaries. Boundaries, whoo. When I was learning to set boundaries, let me tell you, I felt guilty about it all the time. And feeling panicked when someone is upset with you. So listen, I used to need people to like me. I need you to like me. And if you didn't like me, I was like, oh my God, how can I fix this? How can I make sure that you are not upset with me or that you like me? Here's the tricky part. From the outside, people see you as calm, agreeable, and easygoing. But on the inside, your nervous system is bracing. Because when someone is unhappy, your body interprets that as a threat. And not because it's dangerous now, but because once upon a time, someone being unhappy with you was a threat. Now, your brain has a structure, again, coming back to that amygdala, and its job is to detect threat and keep you safe. When it senses relational tension, raised voices, withdrawal, disappointment, or emotional distance, it can light up like it would in physical danger, the same way it would if a tiger crossed your path. If fight is not safe, if flight, running away, is not possible, and if freeze led to more harm, your system may have chosen a fourth option. Attach harder, appease, stay connected at any cost. That is fawning. So let's say, for an example, you grew up in a home where raised voices sometimes led to emotional withdrawal. Today, your partner sighs heavily after a day at work, gets home from work, walks in, you're like, babe, how was your day? And they just go, your logic brain knows that they're likely tired and have had a rough day and maybe just needed that sigh for a moment to release. But your body tightens, your chest constricts, your mind starts scanning. Did I do something? Are they mad at me? How can I fix this? So you start becoming extra helpful, extra agreeable, extra accommodating. This is your nervous system working to protect you and protect this connection. Again, there's nothing wrong with being helpful, agreeable, or accommodating. In fact, our whole society needs to work on being a little bit more of those things. But when you are extra, when you are constantly, it is not healthy, and you are responding from the fawn response of trauma. And that leads to the cost of fawning. When you are constantly prioritizing everyone else's emotional safety, you lose access to your own. Fawning often leads to resentments, to burnout, to identity confusion, to feeling invisible, to difficulty knowing what you actually want, and attraction to emotionally unavailable relationships and people in your life. Because if love is earned through self-erasure, your system may still be trying to earn it. Now, healing is not about becoming confrontational overnight. It is about safety. Your nervous system must learn that disagreement does not equal abandonment, that someone being upset does not equal danger, and that boundaries do not equal loss of love. So, we start small. Notice when you apologize unnecessarily. Just notice it. No shame and no guilt. Just an acknowledgement. Like, it's probably not my fault that it's raining today. Pause before saying yes. So, when somebody asks something of you, pause for a moment. Don't give that automatic response of yes. Just pause. And then respond. Practice tolerating mild discomfort. And remind your body, I am safe even if they are disappointed. When you start doing these things, you begin teaching your system something new. And that is that you can stay connected without disappearing. Now, let me say this clearly. Fawning is not a weakness. It is intelligence. It is a highly attuned nervous system that once protected you beautifully. But you are allowed to evolve beyond survival. You are allowed to take up space. And you are allowed to disappoint people and still be safe and still be loved. Remember, this is a process, and it's going to take time and repetition. Because remember, your brain is going back to these repeated patterns. Your nervous system relies on these repeated patterns. So it is bringing up these old patterns from before. And in order to shift those into new healthy ones, we have to continue to practice, giving it examples of new healthy situations. So start small. Start with people that you're close to, that you feel safe with. Even if that's only one relationship you have, right now. Give yourself permission to acknowledge when you may be over apologizing or trying to fix. Remember, the brain relies on repetition and repetition patterns. It's what it's looking for. So, in order for us to build new responses in the body, we have to give it opportunity to practice having healthy, safe, new patterns develop. So, when you notice that you apologize unnecessarily, just notice that. Acknowledge it. No shame, no guilt, no going back. Just acknowledge. Be like, yeah, it's really not my fault that it's raining today. Every time that you pause before you respond to a request is a win. Acknowledge it. Build that up. And even if you go ahead and you say yes, even though you want to say no, which, trust me, you're going to do, it's still a win that you paused. Because you give your nervous system an opportunity to move away from that automatic response and to have a chance to start building that different response of pausing. Because the next step from that is to actually tap into, what do I want to actually answer here? And then having the courage to be able to answer the way you want to. Now again, that's a process. So if you're at the beginning of the process, just the pause is a win. Reminding yourself that it is safe for you, even if somebody's disappointed. And here's the thing. You practice with safe relationships. Now, you may only have one safe relationship in your life, and that's okay. But in that relationship, what you do is you find little moments where you can practice having a different response. So maybe your husband wants to go to Red Lobster for dinner, but you've been really wanting to get that burger at Champ Burger. And he suggests, let's go out for dinner tonight. Let's go to Red Lobster. Give yourself permission to say, yeah, Red Lobster sounds good, but I've kind of been craving that burger at Champ Burger. And see what happens. Right? Your husband may be a little disappointed, but that's okay. He's not going to stop loving you because you made a different suggestion. And if he does, that's a whole different issue that we'll talk about in another, when we start talking about relationships and healthy relationships. But here's the thing. You give your nervous system little moments when you feel relatively safe to be able to let your guard down and practice trying different responses. So expressing your need, I'd rather go to Champ Burger, and letting the chips fall. Because yeah, your husband may be disappointed. You may still end up at Red Lobster. He may say, no, like I've really been craving the Red Lobster. And then you find yourself backing down again. That's okay. It's still a win because you at least allowed yourself the opportunity to express what you wanted. Right? And let me tell you, most times your husband don't care where he eats. Right? Most times you're going to end up at Champ Burger. Right? And is he maybe a little disappointed that he's eating a burger instead of lobster? He might be. But he's going to move forward from it rather quickly. Probably by the time you get to Champ Burger, he doesn't even care anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? It's okay to disappoint somebody. Right? It's okay to not do what everybody else wants and make everybody's needs first. Because that's not healthy for you. So, again, we are about building new pathways, new patterns, and new responses in the body. So find what connections what relationships you have in your life that are safe, and allow yourself permission once a week or so to just be like, I know they're really wanting me to say A, but I'm really feeling B. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to share that, A sounds great, but I'd really rather B. And see where the chips fall. Right? When you discover that people can be disappointed with you and they're still going to love you, you are retraining that response in your brain. You are fighting back against if they're disappointed in me or I let them down, they're not going to love me. They're going to take their love away. They're not. Unless you're in a really unhealthy relationship. And again, we'll talk about that another time. All right, that's it for today, friends. I am so grateful to have you here. I want you to give yourself credit for showing up. Healing trauma is not an easy road, and you are choosing to do that just by showing up here today. So give yourself the credit you deserve. Now, if you want to explore your own healing journey a little deeper with me, you can check out my services that are in the description box, which will take you to my website to see the services that I offer. I thank you for being here today. I will ask, if you found this video helpful to you, that you do all the things, like, share, and comment so that it can get out to more people to help them also on their healing journey as well. Because remember, a healing journey requires community, it requires safety, it requires support, and it requires education. So wherever you are on your healing journey, I am grateful to be here walking alongside with you. I hope you have a very blessed day, and until next time.